bought what may just be the cheapest McLaren available on Copart.
Here's the question. Did these guys just like drive this thing 100,000 miles and then like yeet it into a pond?
Yeah.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to another Car Council video. I'm Drew. I'm the garage manager, collection manager, videographer, jack of all trades here at the Car Council. But that's not why you're here. Today, we are taking delivery of a brand new car. Steve and Kenny aren't here right now because it's about 11 a.m. on a Monday, and you know, they have jobs. I just so happen to exist at the garage at all times. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take our good old trusty Chinese forklift and unload our new supercar off the trailer. And later in this video, we will start to dive into our new car to figure out exactly what's wrong with it. All right, here it is. Steve has bought a flooded Mclaren 570S. The brakes don't work. We're getting it off the truck though. So, as you can see, we have gotten the 570 inside. Come to find out, as I was doing a light inspection while I'm waiting for Steve and Kenny, we have a lot of spider friends in our car, and I am not too big of a fan of having spiders running around our garage. So, we will be putting this outside. Fingers crossed no one steals it. If they do, maybe you've earned it. But I digress. We're gonna get this thing pushed outside, thanks to my friend Sergey behind the camera, and then we will de-spiderfy and begin to restore this 570 to her former glory.
Many hours later.
So, it has been many hours. Steve and Kenny have finally arrived.
Not many hours. Let's go easy on this.
Let's preface. I unloaded the 570 at 11 a.m.
Okay,
It is now.
right,
It is now. It is now.
I always just shake my head.
6:21 p.m. But at any rate, let's go dive into the new 570S build.
Yeah, and we got Hayden here today. You are master McLaren MP412C disassembler.
Yeah.
Door removal.
Dude, that's like
extraordinaire.
a deep cut to our.
That's our
like,
second video.
That's our early fans to be like, Hayden has returned for this video. Very
I only know how to
exciting.
break things, so.
Okay, so we bought what may just be the cheapest McLaren available on Copart. And here she is. She's a little dirty. Where was this thing? Florida, I'm assuming. Tampa.
On Copart, came out of Florida.
I'd smooch it, but.
The interesting thing is it doesn't look like it was saltwater damaged, and theoretically the instrument cluster does light up. Whoever spots this will probably be like, oh, that belonged to so-and-so or whatever. So if you did own this, we would like some confirmation.
We would love information, please.
But from what I can tell, just kind of like, because normally, like with saltwater especially, you're looking for where's the rust. And I'm not seeing a lot of rust. I'm seeing a lot of dirt and a lot of mud deposits. So you can tell there was a.
It's almost like it was like lake bound. Like I think
That's kind of what I
lake.
thought, because
Yeah.
it's like, so what I noticed when I initially took delivery is there is a strange amount of pine needles on the interior of it.
pine needles.
Yeah.
Like someone drove it into a pond.
No, let's check it out.
All right, let's see these pine needles.
That's a great start. Look at that. Wow. Okay. So interior is a little rough.
More than a little rough. So we got our first sign of water and
Hey, there's your pine needles. No kidding.
It's
Point of order, my
engine
man
bay.
Drew. Was there a water line marked anywhere on this car? Nope. So was the water line the car?
No, so if you look at the Alcantara ceiling, I don't think it made it to the top of the car. My
thank
guess
God.
is that it ended somewhere in the range of like right at the dash.
Yeah. No, the
you know,
dash
that's
is fully submerged.
Might I say that is quite wishful thinking on my end, but I have faith. Kenny,
Drew
we
really
built,
wants this car.
we
to
built a
work.
P1. We can do
Okay,
this.
here's two more, unless they're just currently not there. Did Mans just not bolt them in back there?
There
should
should
be
be
a wire back there.
There we go.
Oh, the wire's not connected neither. Neat.
Oh, hey, look. You need
Whoa.
a garbage bag? What is that?
What? We did not plant
What's in the
this.
bag, Kenny?
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's concerning.
There's stuff in the bag.
It's a bag of bolts. It's a bag of hardware.
Well, interestingly to me, it looks like fresh water. It's because of the leaves and the pine needles, and it's not.
Which is
it's
the
not
encouraging
salt water
thing from this.
It's actually a really big deal.
Yeah,
because
I think we could hose it down. Just wash it.
there's no rust.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal. Because Freddy's, there was rust, as you know. There was rust on everything.
I'm gonna pop this whole guy out here because we want to actually get at this battery a bit better.
It still smells like feet.
Yeah, it really does, actually. It's got a ranky stink smell. All right, and now...
Oh! Wow, look how easy that is!
Hey! I will say, this is, this looks very familiar. A little too familiar.
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
Screw it, let's wire it up, guys. Why not? We're young, what is it gonna do? Okay.
I heard some power on.
Yeah. I think it's alive, gentlemen. Oh, we got the start button. Let's go.
Do not press the start button.
I did. Oh my gosh. Guys, holy crap. Okay, so we are getting, we're getting lights on the dash here. I don't want to like hop in there if it bursts into flames and immediately kills me, but.
No.
So the good news is that the center console lights up. So we actually do get information here. We're not booting into ACC2. Now, what that means is either, I'm assuming A, all the fuses are dead because they were underwater for quite some time, or B, they just took the fuses out.
They yoinked all like half the fuses out of the front, so we know we need to replace that. Here's the question: did these guys just like drive this thing 100,000 miles and then like yeet it into a pond?
I agree. That's totally what happened. All right, so kind of thing that's happening right now is we're gonna rinse this guy off. So I just pulled the battery out. We're gonna cover the fuse box over here. But it's one of those things where like, even though I'm doing that, it's already kind of screwed, but might as well. So we're gonna do that. But I mean, oh my Lord, when I say this whole thing needs to be rinsed out, I mean like everywhere. So it's a little rough, but we're gonna kind of let it sit and soak overnight, and then we'll cover this up. So let's get at it.
You know, a part of this feels sacrilegious.
So, I can hear water sloshing in this thing. Yeah, it sounds kind of like, you know that episode in the Grand Tour when James May is in the water tank with the fish and it keeps splashing him? Hold on. I'm feeling that, like, but ominously. Like, there's gonna be like a fish jump scare. I mean, the seat's already wet, so I'm like...
But how does it drive?
Oh, like a dream. Okay, seat is coming out, and we get to kind of vacuum this, which that part I'm super pumped for. I'm really excited to vacuum whatever ecosystem is growing down there. I got a little taste of it being down under the seat there, which is cool, you know. I've always wanted to be in touch with nature, and I'm closer than ever right now, so that's great. Okay, there we go. There we go. Excellent. She's free. Okay, let's take a look at this, gentlemen. That where's a light? Look at all that juiciness. That is awesome.
The next day.
Welcome back. We are here at the 570 again. I see you got a little bit of the nose with its expose here.
Yeah, we wanted to show off a little bit of that beautiful white underneath.
Yeah, well, beautiful is a word. So.
Listen, man, a little bit of a paint correction, she'll be fine.
And this needs a little more than just a paint correction. Yeah.
It's fine.
We're gonna get it on the lift, and what I would love to do today before we even take the panels off, let's find out what that sloshy noise is. Oh. So lift first. Here we go.
Let's get her on the lift.
Alrighty, dear viewers. So my hunch and Drew, you can back me up on this. I think this was undercarriage damage. My suspicion is mainly just because, like, that's our lake deposit. You can kind of, I actually could feel mud.
I will say
still.
it doesn't look like it really struck anything under here. That being said, it's not
definitely collected a lot.
It's not in the greatest condition. I think a lot of these scoops kind of served as little shovels when this was at the bottom of a lake.
We've got a bunch of mud deposits in a few spots. So let's do the following, which I think is a really strong approach here. Let's get these panels off. And then two, then we can kind of assess the damage a bit further.
Yep.
Two, from there, let's address the sloshing noise. The tub actually looks okay. There's no
tub appears
massive
to be
gash or anything like that.
condition.
It's okay.
I bet you it's in here. I forgot. So on all McLaren tubs, there are little drainage ports. So what we can attempt to do before, obviously diving in and getting in contact with Steven to do the whole drainage and repair on the tub.
The tub is flooded.
Correct. So our hope will be that we can pop these out and have a nice muddy shower from our 570.
All right. Okay, so let's dive in real quick. Now, okay, well, your spider's made a nice little home there. That's terrifying. Oh my gosh, there's a big spider web there. We may need to shop vac that out a bit. I'm noticing some moss on a few things, which is cool. To be fair, I'm not seeing a ton of saltwater corrosion, which is okay. I don't really. This doesn't really look like.
Oh yeah, we could.
Because look, this just comes right off.
With we could get that with a wire brush.
So the thing I'd like to address at the current moment is what is the sloshing noise, and then we'll try doing some of these drain plugs as well. I think that's a great idea, Drew. And let's start taking some of the panels off and assess kind of the undercarriage damage here. Okay, these bolts are coming out nice and easy on the front undercarriage at least. So.
Oh, there it is. That is good. That is very, very good. We may need another butt.
That is disgusting. Look at that color. Oh, that stinks. Oh, God, that smells like feet. Whoa, dude. Well, there's your sloshing noise. Lake water. Holy crap. Whoa, it's like red. It's like blood. Oh my lord. Dude, that's like cheese. What is that? Look at that. What is that? Oh, come on.
What are all those stains?
Blood, urine, or semen?
Oh, God, I hope it's urine.
Yeah. There's so much water in this thing, dude. This has like brain-eating amoeba in it or something.
Oh, look at that. Like a pro. You see that? That was professional right there. Mm-hmm.
Hi. This thing is still leaking water, and it kind of exploded on us a little bit, which is super cool. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, so...
Well, what we are going to do, which is going to be a lot of fun, is we are going to see how much water is inside the engine.
Just as a side note, we've already pulled out probably 10 gallons
I'd say so.
from the tub.
It is safe to assume there's probably at least another 5 gallons of water in this vehicle somewhere. I'm glad you're all watching me do this.
Oh, hey, that's...
Oh!
That is great.
I was actually really worried for a second. I was like, this thing's gonna explode. I had to like move my hands up really fast. I was like, it's gonna explode.
I mean...
Guys!
The oil looks really, really clean, too. I don't see any kind of water.
I think somebody might have drained this before
I bet
us.
they drained it and put new oil in it.
I think somebody tried this before us. I don't think we're the first.
Well...
I think someone else had an oh shit moment with that, and then was like, let's just put oil in it and try to start it. Fire.
Yep.
Fire. Fire. Now the Carfax makes sense. What is interesting is we pointed this out earlier, and this stuff, this residue here, is only in one area, and conveniently right next to the alternator. So if you look closely at the alternator too, it's like black back there too. So this said that it had something on the Carfax that was fire damage. I think what happened is we just saw brand new oil come out of this thing. So they tried to put oil in this thing. I think they tried to just crank it, Drew, and then this thing went boom and just cooked.
Yep.
And so that is where all this fire suppressant corrosion came from. But if you look anywhere else on the car, nothing.
But
totally
what's curious,
clean.
I'm wondering if it was a true fire or if the alternator just started smoking super aggressively and then they ended up dumping the fire suppressant in as kind of like, oh, I don't want to burn down my car, and then it ended up getting the branded title.
It could have been totally
anyways.
overkill for sure. I mean, it was already a branded title no matter what we did. But I think that is kind of where we're at right now. All right, so Drew and I are taking off the front end on this car right now.
I'm supervising.
He's supervising while I'm doing so. So, thank you, sir.
See, I'm serving
Oh,
purpose.
teamwork makes the dream work right there. Okay, so what is the goal for this project right now? You just heard my GTR fire up. Yeah. So what is the goal for this car?
Well, so I think at bare minimum to start with, we would love to get it running and driving again.
Yes.
And, you know, maybe not have a bunch of little critters and juices flowing all around us while we're inside of it.
Well, and the important thing too is we decided to challenge ourselves on this car this time. So when we built the P1, realistically, like the P1's budget was kind of like, get it working.
Yeah, it was up in the air. Whatever we needed to
Right.
get it done is what we got.
So I think the fun challenge for us at this point is we're actually setting a very conscious budget for this project because the goal is, can you get the cheapest McLaren working on a limited budget?
100%.
You're limited on the options that we choose, and so I think our main focus is going to be making sure that the powertrain is functional. So everything that's going to be focused on is engine going forward. So kind of as you guys are going to be following along with the series, we're going to be finishing up the P1, but this is kind of our extra little series that's going to be running in tandem with that, and maybe a few other things heading forward as well. But I'm pretty excited for this. I think this car's going to run like a peach. It's going to be great.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, viewers, so we have just kind of uncovered basically the entire undercarriage here. So things we accomplished today, got all the body panels on the undercarriage off. We've drained it of about 15 gallons of water. And as you can see, I mean, the corrosion's kind of just about everywhere. We have a front subframe up here, so that's obviously going to need to be cleaned. Thankfully, I don't see too much nightmare fuel on the front end. It does get a little bit gnarlier as we kind of move towards the rear. The fuel tank is definitely going to have to be drained. We're pretty sure there's water in it. We just talked a bit about this fire here. That's a bit scary, so we'll have to kind of figure out what really went down there. But I think in the next video, Drew and I are going to tear some body panels off of this thing. So stay tuned for that, you guys. All right, well, that's going to do it for today, you guys. Thank you guys for watching on this first episode. We got a long ways to go on this car.
We do indeed, but given both of our knowledge of P1 and McLaren chassis in general, I think it's going to be not a breeze, but we'll get through it all right.
We'll get through it. So next episode, stay tuned. We're going to take off some body panels and assess some more damage.
Heck yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.
See you in the next one, guys.